Hi YouTube! In this video I want to show you a very powerful and very well built phone that I got from eFox. This phone is called the Ulefone B Touch. It comes in a very plain white box like this one with some specs on the back, and this time they are actually correct. It comes with a 5V USB wall charger. Of course it also comes with a USB data and charging cable. They also include some very crappy earphones, some paperwork. It also comes with a second screen protector, one came pre-installed already, and last but not least also included is a silicone bumper, but mine was a little bent. This phone has a 5.5-inch capacitive 5-point multi-touch screen with a 720 by 1280 HD pixel resolution. It is an IPS display, it looks like a one glass solution, and it's also supposed to have a Gorilla Glass. It has the MT6752 64-bit Octa-Core SOC, which is clocked at 1.7 GHz. It has 3 GB of RAM, 16 GB of internal memory, and it also supports TF cards. Right now it is running on Android 5.0 Lollipop. It is a Quadband, it is totally unlocked, and it also supports 3G and 4G/LTE. It has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, AGPS, it also supports GLONASS and BEIDOU. It has a G sensor, a proximity sensor, a light sensor, and it also has a magnetic field sensor. It supports USB on the go, it supports firmware updates over the air, it has off-screen gestures, and it also has a very good fingerprint scanner. It has two cameras, one main camera with a 13 megapixel output, autofocus, an LED flash, and it's an f2.8. And one front-facing camera with an 8 megapixel output, also an LED flash, and also it's a f2.8. Of course, this phone is a dual SIM, dual standby phone. It weighs about 170 grams and it's about 8.5 millimeters thick. Let's take a closer look at the device. We have a front-facing camera right here. We also have a front-facing LED flash, that is something you really don't see every day. We have a proximity and light sensor right here. The home button is a physical home button and it also functions as a fingerprint scanner. The back and menu buttons are soft touch buttons and they do not light up. And I don't know if you can see this, but the front glass is curved on the edges, which is very cool. On the bottom we have a speaker and a microphone. The frame is a very nice metal frame. On the left side we have a power button and a volume rocker. On top we can see a 3.5mm headphone jack and the USB port. And nothing on the right side. On the back we can see the main camera and LED flash. Now that looks like a dual LED flash, but I'm pretty sure it's just a single LED flash. The back cover has a matte finish, so it won't attract many fingerprints. And if I can get this open for you, which is not so easy because the back cover is really tight, but let me give it a try. There we go. On the inside we can see that it takes a TF card, it also takes a standard SIM card and a micro SIM card, and this is supposed to be a 2550 milliamps battery. Like always, I installed additional apps and games for demonstration purposes. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment sections below. And if you'd like to find out more, please stay tuned. The stock launcher is quite fast and snappy, but I have the feeling that the app drawer is a little laggy. I don't know if you can see this, but the firmware is very clean, and the only thing I could find that really doesn't belong is a Ulefone app. It only takes you to the Ulefone homepage. That is something you don't need, but I guess that's no big deal. Let's go into the settings and let's check out the about the phone. Here we can see that it's running on Android 5.0 Lollipop, and this is definitely real, so no doubts about that. Let me go back. Right here we can also find wireless updates, and that definitely works because I already got a wireless update already. Let's go back into the settings. Next up, let's check out the languages and input. Let's see which languages are supported. Let me scroll through them, and you can pause any second to see if your native language is supported or not. Here we have it. Those are all the supported languages. What else do we have in the settings? We have off-screen gestures. So you can double tap to wake the screen, or you can draw different symbols on the screen to start different apps. Let's just give it a try. Let me turn off the screen and let me double tap. And it's waking up, so that is working fine. Let's just also test a symbol. Let's draw a C. That should start the camera, and it's also working fine. So gestures are working great. Next up we have the fingerprint scanner. Now you can store up to 5 fingerprints and you can use it to lock and unlock your phone. Let's give that a try. Let me wake up the phone. And let's do a fingerprint scan, and it's working really fast. Let's try that again. And again, it's working great. And if you forget the code, if the fingerprint isn't accepted, you can also unlock it with a code. But we really don't have to do that because the fingerprint scanner is working in 99% of all cases, I would say. Let's check out the storage, and here's the good news. It does not have any partitions, so you can use the entire memory for installing apps and games. Let's see, what else do we have here. Let me go into more. Let me go into cellular networks, and here you can choose what kind of reception you like to have, what kind of preferred network type you want, 4G, 3G or 2G. And I think that should cover the settings. Let me go into the engineer mode for you. And let's check out the band modes. SIM 1. Here you have it. It is a quad band, and now those are all the supported 3G frequencies. And now let's check out the LTE bands. It supports band 1, 3, 7. And the great news is it also supports band 20, which is very, very important for users in Germany. That should cover the frequencies. Now let's test some Google apps. Now the Play Store came pre-installed and is working just fine and no problem at all. Let's test out YouTube. Let me turn down the volume. Let me sign in. And let's just play a random video. And I want to skip the ad in 3, 2, 1, 0. Skip the ad. Let me go into the settings and let's check out the quality, and we can see that it can play videos up to 720p, and of course we can also watch it in full screen. So YouTube is a real pleasure, no problem at all. Also let's test Google Maps. Found my location right away, so that tells us that the Google location services are working. Let me try a street view. Let's hope the address is covered. Let's go into Street View. Street View is working just fine. We can zoom a little, and we can also switch into the compass mode. So that tells us that this phone definitely has a magnetic field sensor built in. But of course we're gonna test the sensors differently anyway. Next up, let's check out Antutu. Initializing, it always takes a second. Let me go into my history and see what we have here. It scored close to 49,000 points, again close to 49,000, and I even got a 49,470 points, which is great. And I have to say, this is definitely the highest score I've ever seen on this kind of SoC. Let's check out some details. You can see that it's running on Android 5.0 and it's a 64-bit. We have the 6752 and the Mali T760. We have a HD resolution. Let's check out the display. Let's test the multi-touch, and it has a 5-point multi-touch. And when I scroll all the way down, we can check out the supported sensors. Here we have all the supported sensors, but I'm gonna test those sensors for you, of course. So let's go into the sensor box, and we have to go back, and we have an accelerometer sensor and it's working fine. We have a light sensor, Let's give that a try. Let's see, and it's working just great. Let's see which else sensors do we have. We have a orientation sensor. We have a proximity sensor. And of course that's working fine. No gyroscope sensor. We have a sound sensor. Of course the microphone is working, no surprise here. And we also have a magnetic field sensor, and it's getting readings, so magnetic field sensor is working. But let's test the magnetic field sensor with a compass app. Now I have no idea how accurate this actually is, but the magnetic field sensor is definitely working. Let's go into CPU-Z to confirm some of the specs. As we can see, it's running on 8 cores, and let's go to the sensors again. Now right here there is a pressure sensor listed which does not get any readings. I have no idea why, but you can be sure a pressure sensor is definitely not there. Let's get out of there and let me clear some memory, and let me just start Nino Mark II to give you an idea how the GPU is working. I'm not going to run the test. It's scored at 60.4 frames, and it's an OpenGL 3.1. which is a very nice score. One more benchmark, let's try the Quadband standard, and of course I'm gonna do a jump cut because this is boring to watch. Almost done. And the score is 21,515 points, which is very, very good. Let's see what else do we have here. Let's go into the music player and let's test the media speaker. Let me just play a song. Let me turn up the volume. Well, I guess I've heard better, so this is nothing to get too exciting about. Let's test the Wi-Fi signal strength, and to give you an idea how good or bad it is, we have to compare it to a different phone. So this is my Xiaomi Mi 4, and you can see it has a slightly weaker reception, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about the Wi-Fi signal strength when I'm telling you what I'm thinking about this phone. Let's go into the gallery, let's check out some wallpapers, and they are loading fast, and zooming is not a problem. And they do look nice, but not from all the viewing angles. But again, I'm gonna tell you about it a little bit later, but let's check it out. We can also watch them on full screen and flick through the pictures. Not bad at all, but I've seen better. Let's test a quick video. Let's give a 4K video a try, and of course the 4K video is not working. That is not a surprise with the standard video player, but we can also test a 1080p video, and 1080p is no problem at all. It's running very, very smoothly. Let's see, is there anything else I can show you? I can go into the camera app real fast. I just wanted to show you that I can switch to the front camera, and it really does have an LED flash. As you can see, the LED flash is firing, but it's not very powerful. Anything else we can test? Of course, we can also test USB on the go. Let me hook up a micro USB thumb drive. If I can get this in there, there we go. It will take a second to mount, and it's mounting, so USB on the go is also working just fine. I guess that pretty much covers it. Now let me tell you what I'm thinking about this phone. Some thoughts about this phone. The build quality is very good. I don't say that very often, but it really feels like a premium device. The display is good, but I've seen better. I mean, the screen resolution is totally acceptable, but I don't like the colors too much, and from certain viewing angles the display looks a little pale. But please keep in mind that I'm complaining on a very high level here. The performance is very good. I mean, 49K on Antutu is probably the highest score I've ever seen on this SoC. The Wi-Fi reception strength is good, but I have the feeling that it gets a little slow once you distance yourself too much from your router. The GSM 3G and 4G reception and also the call sound quality is something I really can't complain about. The GPS is okay. It is fast and thanks to GLONASS support it is stable, but the accuracy can be a little jumpy sometimes. The media speaker is not so good. It could be louder and clearer and there is no bass at all. The battery is definitely not the best. If you are a power user you might have a problem with it, but I don't think that it's that bad. Now I did a little Geekbench 3 battery test. I got about 6 hours of on-screen time. I think that is totally acceptable. If you're interested in the result, please check out the details on my blog. The camera picture quality is always in the eye of the beholder. Now you can find some sample pictures on my blog as well. You can find a link in the video's description. The main LED flash is quite usable. The front-facing LED flash is very weak. The fingerprint scanner is very good. It is accurate and most importantly it is very fast. Now a gyroscope sensor would have been nice, but I guess that's not a must-have. I totally miss a notification LED and I hate that the soft touch buttons do not light up. Anyway, last but not least, let me try to show you the viewing angles of this phone, do a little gaming. Thank you so much for watching and hope to see you again.